A couple weeks ago, I booked a flight to San Diego to visit my sister, and I get this text saying, "Can you do this show this weekend? Are you busy?" And like, I'm just looking at my phone like, bruh. I've been meaning to visit my sister for a while just because it's been a couple years since I've last visited, and she's actually running a half Ironman, which is absolutely pretty crazy, like thinking about it, because that is probably one of the hardest things that you could possibly do. So my issue is that right now I'm in a period where bookings and shows are at an all-time low. Getting texts like this in moments where opportunities are so much more spread out and far in between, it's just tough because I need to make money and I'm trying to get every opportunity that I can get. I want to preface that I love my family and I would not trade anything else in the world for them. But when I'm trying to grow my business and I get opportunities like this in a conflicting time, it just makes me wonder, are trips like this worth the very little opportunities that I get during this time? My trip started on Thursday when I took a red-eye flight from Chicago to San Diego Airport. And right off the bat, it was storming out in Chicago, so unfortunately there were delays in my flight and I ended up arriving around 12 a.m. So already I'm pretty tired on this trip, and kind of with that idea of missing these opportunities, I'm already just not in a good headspace and I'm tired and dealing with people at the airport and just going through the motions. And even on the flight, when most people would probably be, watching a movie or reading a book or something, I pretty much spent all my time working. Thinking back to the texts that I received after booking my trip, I was really in the zone about just trying to improve the show, get new ideas, especially at Alhambra Palace, which is this venue that I perform at reoccurringly, and not that many restaurants or venues allow fire indoors in the off season. So I'm getting all these different ideas and planning and whatnot, and it's just making that feeling of tension that I had missing this opportunity to perform that much heavier, because my body is moving physically somewhere else while my mind is still stuck in the original place that I came from. So during that flight, it was just a big disconnect and I just wasn't in the best headspace moving forward. Once I landed, I will say it was really nice to connect with my sister and to just catch up, but she could clearly tell that I had some tension. And so what better way to help clear up the tension by going to a yoga class? So leading up to the race, there were a couple of days where the organizers were kind of putting together different activities and vendors and things to kind of just help lead up to the race. So it was about 8 in the morning and I was running on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Taking this class and just following to the instructors really just helped me soften up and really just get my mind and body back into sync. Especially thinking about how these athletes have come from all over the world to prepare for something as huge as an Ironman. And it really does take a lot of mental preparation and balance and calmness to work towards something as big as this. We did the basic motions and the basic poses, but a lot of it was really focused on breath work. That just really helped resync the mind and get back into this sort of rhythm. Not to mention, it was pretty cool because afterwards they gave out free breakfast and it was egg white biscuits, which were so good. And then they also had like a chia seed parfait, which was also really good. So I get this yoga class and then this delicious breakfast, and if you don't know me already, I love to eat food and I'm constantly hungry. So just getting a free breakfast and after a really nice physical session, I was already starting to get up on a high. And if you've also done any sports too, just getting that feeling after a workout and that refreshing rejuvenation that you get, and then top it off with some protein and some nice breakfast, that is perfect. Still though, I was feeling this way about missing these opportunities and wanting to do as much as I could, especially as I'm trying to do something so long term and build something up and prepare for myself to improve and prepare for bigger stages. I wasn't fully free from that pressure. We went back home after all the vendors and all the yoga, and I had a moment with her as she was fixing her bike and preparing it for the race. And I want to share the conversation with you that we had.
I started training in October, and it's end of March now, so that really gave me a solid 4 months to train and get the volume. But I pretty much would swim, bike, and run twice a week, and the training plan would be in phases. So the first phase is, just get the slow miles under your feet, and then slowly I would increase my mileage, and I would also do brick workouts. So I would do a long bike ride immediately followed by a long run. So what started as 30-minute workouts turned into 4-hour workouts. And then I tapered, and then yesterday was my last easy workout. So today is really just about stretching, hydrating, and eating properly. So I'm set up for success tomorrow.
In that time leading up to now and you trying to optimize your training, did things come up where you couldn't train? Like you had a plan where you wanted to, but then it didn't happen for whatever reason?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so I work full time and I'm in the military, so that job in itself is very demanding. And, when the training plan calls for 4-hour workouts, I don't really have the luxury on a Thursday to during the workday to do that. And I really wanted to come at it from a balanced perspective. I didn't want to, I wanted to stick to the training plan. In the past, I've been, I've had these great ideas, and then, I go pedal to the metal and go really hard and fast and furious, and then I deviate from the training plan because, that's not reasonable to do for 4 months straight. Mm-hmm. So my goal here was to really just stick to the training plan and find the flexibility to do it. So I would miss workouts sometimes, and you really kind of just have to make the best effort to fit it in, whether it's shifting the workouts that you do throughout the week, mm-hmm. Or sometimes I'll be in the field and I just straight up can't have access to a pool, or I don't have access to a bike. So for me, it's just finding the time and also not beating myself up about it if I can't get it in, but just knowing that in the long run, the work that I put in day to day now is going to help me. So that really kind of helped me stick to the plan as much as possible.
Yeah. I'll be honest, taking this trip, I'm really happy to be here, and I would be more than always willing to put family first.
Yeah.
It's more of just that natural instinct of trying to build a business and taking the time away from opportunities that could put me forward, Mm-hmm. Not to say that you guys aren't worth more than, which you guys are. It's more of just that internal battle of that long-term game. What is the cost of wanting to grow a business, grow as a performer, and does taking a weekend off, reflect that? Which it probably does, putting it out in the open, saying taking a weekend off and, come supporting you and all that stuff. Clearly it is the right move, and I don't regret anything. But that just kind of goes in the mind, when it comes to doing hard things and things that take a long time, and getting any amount of rep in could potentially be the thing that brings the pendulum the other way,
Mm-hmm. I think it can just also be seen as an opportunity. For me, deviating would be resting, or mm-hmm. maybe choosing work over training. Whatever you put your mind to, just do that like to your best ability. Like, hey, you committed yourself to coming to this weekend, so there's no point in like thinking what you could have done. Like, what can I do now? You're exposing yourself, like you're inspiring yourself. Like, there's still benefits to being here. So I think just like perspective and like thinking from a growth mindset and like a positive attitude, that helps me too, like justify deviating from the plan.
Yeah.
So
I remember coming out of that and just feeling so weightless. Like, thinking about someone who is doing something so incredibly hard, who is working towards something far out in advance, and also struggles, or at least has faced that same feeling of, I plan to do something, or there was an opportunity for me to progress, but I didn't. And how you handle that, right? I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed. I need this to work. I need this to make a living and to really just be able to feel safe doing it, because the past couple of years have just been so rough. And if I want to ever build a family, or if I ever want to leave this big legacy, move out on my own, that conversation really meant a lot. And it makes me feel like I'm not alone. And running an Ironman may not necessarily be the same thing as building a company, let alone a fire dancing company, but it honestly is in a way, you know, like you're training for something, you're working towards something extremely difficult that takes time, that you can't just do on day one. Stuff does happen, and there's always gonna be another opportunity. There's always gonna be something else that comes along. And you can't do everything at once. You can't do it all in a week. You can't do it all in a month. It takes multiple months. It can even take years, right? That just hit me really deep. The day after, it's race day, and we get up at like 4 a.m. to prepare and to bring Alexa and to get all our stuff settled so that she can start. And I was nervous for her, like actually going to the starting line, seeing all of the other athletes there with all their bikes and their equipment and the whole infrastructure of this race. It put into perspective how huge of a thing an Ironman is. And I know this is only a half Ironman, but just in general, like, it was so inspiring. Like, I wanted to do an Ironman too. I wanted to do all that stuff too. It got me so excited to just really hit the ground running and really push myself to something so intense and so extreme. But then I'm also thinking about the conversation that we had the day before, and the spectators and everyone don't see all of the work that led up to the moments of race day. Taking that and reflecting on my journey and my goals for running my business, I'm sure there were moments that those athletes couldn't work out or couldn't exercise or even got injured or got held back, but they still kept on going and they still pushed forward so that they could show up on race day. It's all about perspective and taking every opportunity that you can dearly, but also not holding on so tight so that you torture yourself and you feel pain from it. It's like a very delicate balance for grasp on what it is you can and can't control. Seeing her at the finish line, seeing all these runners go towards the finish line, and all the work and effort and energy that they put in to lead up to this moment was right in front of them. Like, I was starting to tear up too, because it's like, even regardless of the time or what place you were, like just finishing and just getting to what you said you would do, such a euphoric feeling that it's all in the grand scheme of things, focusing on what you are trying to work towards long term. And for me, it's building up my own show and to be able to share it with the world, to tour around the world, around the US, and create something with fire that touches people and displays the strength and power and athleticism that goes behind it. And I realized that the opportunities that I dreaded on missing before this trip weren't actually opportunities. And the real opportunity was being present on this trip with my family and feeling inspired and showing up to support Alexa. That is what remains, and those are the moments that really matter the most in how you make of them.